Hi, I'm Brandon from Zade Comics, artist and graphic artist for about 9 years now, the co-creator and artist on the graphic novel Magic Cop, and I'm just one half of the two best looking brothers in all of comics. And today we're going to be doing a movie poster review, so let's see what we have. We're going to be looking at the movie posters for the movie Ready or Not. Now I've seen these movies, or this movie at the theater. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, I thought it was going to be a different type of movie. I thought it was going to be something that we're going to talk about in a minute, but it ended up being a really enjoyable movie. I'm not a type of person who is interested in like horror movies or slasher films or thrillers or anything like that, but I want to talk about the reason why I thought it was going to be not the kind of movie I would enjoy. And so what we're going to be talking about here first are these two posters. I had not seen these posters at all, but they do kind of give off a certain quality to them. And I think that they're probably for a foreign market. As you can see down here, they're using the word cinema. So they're not for the American or North American market. But they're pretty interesting still, especially when we're going to compare them to the final release poster, the one that I saw at the movie theater, which I'm sure most of you have seen as well. So here on the left, we're going to start with this poster here. This one is a really interesting composition because to me it does not tell me at all what this movie is about. The use of these kind of hand-drawn, the blood on the wall makes it look like a slasher film, and it's kind of giving off like that horror 80s slasher type movie. But what's really weird about this is that they're using such high resolution imagery on your main seeming protagonist. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with this character here because we really don't know. Maybe there's like a wedding day murderer or something like that. We have the tagline up here of "They're coming." This is just kind of like seemingly like it's going to be a slasher film to me. But compositionally, it's pretty nice. You know, you have a really big area here going on to your title of your movie. You have the classic headliner up here with your tagline. And then, you know, your classic stuff down here at the bottom. And then we have like a nice dark framing, which is always really cool because you're going to set up the kind of feeling to the movie. So we have a lot of darkness. You know, she's looking towards the light, trying to escape. And then these stairs here, they seem to be 3D rendered, but they're a bit high res also for this type of font that they're using. But it's setting the aesthetic and tone of the movie, kind of like that gothic building. Over here, I also have not seen this poster, but this is also a very slasher or horror film type poster. We have half a face here. This part's very well lit. A lot of face in the darkness here. She is being separated from what we can assume are the antagonists of the movie. We have some storytelling here with the hands covering the eyes. Having seen the movie, I could tell you that these are two main characters in the movie that have a certain feeling about what's going on, which is interesting that they're putting them on the poster. I'm not quite sure why they're putting her on the poster, and she's also using her other hand, which is really interesting. But on this poster, contrary to what we see on this one, over here we have weapons. And so you're getting that sense of, all right, this is going to be some violence. She's being hunted, perhaps, because she's trying to hide. And the title, Ready or Not, is kind of, Ready or Not, Here I Come. And they are coming. So we have the darkness here again. I like this. This is actually really cool. They have bisected the poster, which is really nice. And this really gives me a feeling of the classic kind of half face. That's really cool. However, I feel like these posters do not give the correct or convey the correct type of movie that they are talking about, because this is the poster that I saw at the movie theater. And this is a very chaotic poster. We have so many actors, so many characters on the screen or on the poster here at once, showing the chaos. And then up here, as these characters rise up out of the fire is a very classic use to show conflict and chaos and action in a movie. And then down here we have this guy who is, if you've seen the trailer, if you've seen the movie, he's kind of a doof. So this gives you a little bit of character development here. The crossbow is kind of a funny thing in the trailer. And then we have a lot of weapons going on here. I think that the use of so many faces on this poster is kind of giving you that chaotic sense and unsettling. Especially, it's really interesting because you don't have a lot of, or I don't really recognize anybody that's in this movie. So they're kind of not using it by saying, oh, this guy's in the movie or she's in the movie. I think what they're doing here is showcasing characters and then showcasing the weapons, which is a pretty cool use here. This poster also does something that these posters do not do. This poster conveys that there is a bit of comedy to this movie, which is what we have right here is one small piece. This reads, in-laws can be murder, which is quite obviously a joke, whereas the old tagline of They're Coming, this one's tagline of the in-laws can be murder, is more of a jokey, kind of humorous tone, and the other ones didn't set that up. And I think that's what this poster kind of leads me into the idea that it's more of like a Clue-esque movie. If you guys have seen Clue, it's kind of a murder mystery comedy, and that's kind of what I got from this poster here and a little bit from the trailer. In fact, when I saw the trailer, I had thought, man, I wish they would put more comedy elements into this, because they're making the movie a little too slasher and thriller for me. But actually, having seen the movie, it is more of a thriller movie and not so much of a comedy movie. But the use of color on this poster is really interesting because we have so much browns and oranges going on up here. And we don't have a lot of anything to contrast this except for her bright white wedding dress. And you can see how everybody else is dressed in dark colors, and everybody is kind of menacingly looking at her towards the center of the image. So we get that same hunted feeling, but it's also bringing us into the poster, bringing the action into the poster, as well as this border that's going around the edge here is bounding the action into here. But it's pretty cool because some of the action does break away, which is leading us to the assumption that there's going to be some unexpected chaos and stuff that's happening in here. And we have the mansion down here, which is kind of like everything that is happening within this fenced-in area around the mansion, which is actually what happens in the movie, which is really interesting because a lot of people, maybe they intended to do that on here. Sometimes that's just kind of a consequence of making a cool piece of art. This border around the edge is a very classic use of graphic design. Old films definitely use that a lot. We don't see it too much now, but I think that this movie is trying to give you that old feel, especially with this Gothic setting that they have back up in here. And then they're using the fire down here, which is very classic. Interestingly, though, here we could see that the font that they have used for the title is completely different than anything that they've used over here. This one on this poster on the right is very easy to read, very kind of suspenseful thriller-esque font. You know, it's giving you the uneasy steps. Everything is kind of offset from each other. And then what we have over here is the slasher font. But then on this one, we have a very contemporary, modern take on a font with these very sharp edges, showing you that it's a very action-based, and there's going to be some blood and stuff happening in this movie. I really like this poster. I think it's pretty cool. I think that the use of colors was kind of interesting to me because you don't have a lot of color bringing you into the poster, especially even with the fact that this border is not even black. It's kind of like this lighter grayish, it's like a dark gray blue, which is really interesting that they didn't use a black. Like you can see black over here, and this is just clearly not black. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then the border here, I think this border, and then everybody's looking in to towards the center of the poster here, really draws you into the image, and you get to see your protagonist here taking a stance against everybody with her giant rifle and her elephant cartridges here. I think that's a really cool take. And then you get this guy who's inviting you onto the poster down here. So, oh yeah, and then look down here, we have in cinemas, and then for the North American market, we use the word theater for our cinemas over here. So yeah, I enjoyed this poster, and let me know in the comments how you felt about it. Did you see the movie? Do you think that any of these posters invoke how the movie is supposed to make you feel and how you're supposed to react to the movie? Which one of these posters do you think is the best one? I like the North American full release poster. I think that one is really creative, and although I'm not a huge fan of posters that have so many character elements on it or so many actors on it, I think they did an excellent job of using the characters not to just showcase this actor or this actor's in the movie. I think that they are kind of really showing the character qualities of them on this poster, which is really cool. So let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure you guys go to zadecomics.com and check out Magic Cop. And I also started a Patreon, so you guys can go to patreon.com/ZadeNinja or check down in the description below for that link. And we'll see you next time.